Hello! Welcome, everyone.
Are we unmuted?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. This is the crazy people from New Zealand.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. It's morning here in New Zealand. I'm going to take these off so I can actually see you guys. We're coming all the way from New Zealand, and we thought today we're going to share our KaiBot with you today. So today's a very exciting lesson. If you haven't picked it up already, it's all about the weather today and how we can prepare for the weather. This lesson that we're actually going over is one that one of our amazing teachers, Cynthia Lloyd, designed for us, which is pretty cool. For those of you that don't know about KaiBot, it's an incredible little robot. We'll show you here.
I have to sort of hide behind it.
That's
okay.
That's okay. Anyway, it's a great little robot. It's perfect for your introduction to coding and STEM education. The lesson plan that we're going over today is really great for our kindergarten, so that K to 3, which is pretty exciting. Kai's education really like to focus everything on being really inclusive. So that means for your mainstream, for your neurodiverse, for children that are hard of sight and things as well. We've got our Braille cards. We've got lots of different languages and things as well, which is really great. So our goal is not to leave any child behind. So yeah, we're really excited to share a little bit more with you today.
So what we're going to do, we're going to share, Cynthia couldn't be here with us, so she had to attend a state conference, but she was so excited she sent us this video.
Yes.
So we're actually going to be most of the time actually playing her video, because I think, she'll share why she's doing it and how she's using the lessons and actually then changing the lesson. So part of it will be a video. You will also see there's some handouts. So the lesson is actually on there. There's a brochure. And afterwards, we will send you the link with your certificate that everybody that's attended and registered. So thank you very much. And this is Nikki. You probably haven't seen Nikki much. She has joined recently with us. And she is my right hand, my left hand. She is everything in the office that's really helping me. So over to Nikki.
Cool. So yes, we're really excited to share this lesson with you guys from Cynthia. I think this is another part that I love about Kai's education is the community that they've built. It's amazing to see teachers being able to create and share these lesson plans so that other children can enjoy them as much as they've had with their classes. So I think it's a really awesome feature, and honestly, this lesson plan from Cynthia is amazing. She's done a few different ones. We're really excited to show you. At the end of it, we'll be able to send you a link with all the other lesson plans and things that she's done too. But it's amazing to see her passion and dedication that she's done for her classes in her district. So thank you so much, Cynthia.
So let's cross over to the lesson plan, and we're going to just show you briefly what that lesson plan looks like. And then we'll go over to Cynthia's page. So hopefully everybody can see this. We're trying some new webinar software. So hopefully that's all going to be good. So yeah.
So we've got here, you'll be able to hopefully see. So we've got preparing for the weather. So it's all round weather. So what she's done with her students is they, like we said, it's that kind of K till 3. So they went out in their sort of classrooms, had a look at the weather for over the last few weeks, had a look to see what sort of weather's coming and how they can prepare best for it. So you can see here, it's all based around your science standards. But as you'll hear from our little video from Cynthia as well, she's what she likes to call it canyonized it, which is all around their standards as well. So you can sort of see here, she has done an incredible job, like I mentioned. She's got all these other little videos and things, giant coding cards, which is a really awesome way for, like I said, our little kindergarten students to kind of get their way around coding cards. Because I think that's a lot of the initial side of things when you're first learning to code. It's learning those basic directions from left, right, forwards, backwards and things. So it's really great to have that option. Then we've come down here with all the others, and she's got all the learning intention, success criteria, the overview. And obviously she's got little pictures of the layouts of different ones that you can do as well. So you come down here. So she's broken hers down into 2 days. So the first day, like I mentioned, it's just getting them used to what all the different cards are. So you can see how she's got them all here. Wonderful. And then she's said about how this lesson plan's all unplugged. So you can get them to step it out first. And then on the second day is when they get introduced to the actual little KaiBot, which is exciting. So they're able to code it then. You can see coming down here. She's also got lots of questions and things that you can ask throughout the lesson as well. And it really helps with teaching those kids that critical thinking, those problem solving skills, which I think is always so important, especially in that kindergarten phase as well. Cool. And obviously all the connections and things for ELA, math, etc. So yes, like we said, she's done an absolutely incredible job. We will go over to her wee video. Just having a look on the chat here. Oh, it's lovely to see everyone. Great. Hi, Sandra, Sarah, Jennifer, and lovely to see you all. Great. If you do have any questions throughout, if I forget anything or if you want to know any more, please definitely ask questions. We love to interact with you guys as much as we can. So yes, please let us know. Great. So I will cross over to her video now.
Yeah.
So you can see a little bit of her video.
Hi, I am Cynthia Lloyd. I am the elementary STEM specialist in Canyon School District, which means I am in charge of everything that is STEM related. I am also the elementary science specialist, the elementary math specialist, and I'm a co-lead with the STEM Brain Boosters, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. I'm also currently serving on the Utah State Board of Education's Content Integration Advisory Team and the Problem-Based Learning Writing Team. So I'm really big on integration, and so I kind of have developed and canyonized some of the lessons that Kai's Education has, and I'm going to share that with you because I'm so excited. I wish I could be there with you in person, but I had a prior engagement. I worked very closely with Ronel since last January when I first was introduced to these, and I'm going to kind of tell you a little bit about our journey briefly and how I integrate them with the science piece. So we are really big in our district about trying to integrate, especially at the elementary school level, where there's not a lot of time to teach all of the standards that need to be taught during the day. And so that's part of my job, is to making sure that that piece happens. We're also looking to make our students that when they graduate from high school, that they are college and career ready. And so that starts with our kindergartners. And so I was really excited about this product when I first found it. I am totally sold on KaiBots. They are incredible. They are so powerful. And they start with our little kindergartners where they are unplugged. And I really like the aspect of having students learn blockly even at the kindergarten, and not just having some sort of a coding piece that if they put it on a certain color, that it goes a different direction. I love those, but I wanted something that was a little bit more robust for our kids. We do use the other ones in our district also, but this was a really big piece, an integrative piece that I had there. So our success criteria with our strategic plan that we came up with 2 years ago in our district is that every classroom in Canyon School District would have STEAM. So we're including the arts in that also. And that's where I was on a journey to find something that would work for our district, that I could feel comfortable giving to students in every classroom and having it integrated with the science piece within our district. So I do have a lot of elementary schools that I work with in our district. There are 28 schools. We are considered to be quite a large district here in a suburban area of Utah. We're right outside of Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay, so we are using the KaiBots right now in K through 5th. We do have checkout kits for the middle school and the high school levels, but right now our big focus is on boosting our elementary, and we're slowly phasing that into things in middle and high school. We already have a lot going on in our high schools, and we've had some computer science standards and some different technology pieces that we've been working with in our elementary schools, but they've been in a separate class called our Brain Booster classes, where the kids visit just once a week, and they are taught by just parents that we've trained and not, mostly for the most part, not licensed teachers. And so I wanted to make sure that our teachers were integrating within the science to help strengthen not just the computer science skills that our students get and those standards and how they are integrated within our curriculum, but also taking the opportunity to develop deeper understandings even with our science concepts and standards. So I was able to write a grant and purchased the amount that we could have 15 KaiBots along with the advanced coding cards, more of the charging docks, which are really cool little aspects to it. And we were even given some Braille cards. And so each school has a kit that I have made that incorporates all of these different pieces. It's kept in the media center, and the teams, when it's their rotation time, they check them out from our media center and take them back to their classroom, and they work to go through some lessons. Most of the lessons that I have done are 2 days, and I'll show you how I've kind of split those out a little bit. But we have mapped those challenges, so it's definitely integrating the science and aligns with what the students are learning in the class with science. So we're using those computer science standards and in the form of looking at the KaiBots and doing coding with KaiBots to integrate those together. So it also bridges the learning from the regular classrooms to those STEM brain boosters, and it just makes it a little bit more relevant and meaningful to the students as they work to build these skills. So this is kind of what a second grade science unit, how it looks like it's when it's integrated. So the teachers for second grade get KaiBots for 3 different time periods through the year. Those students also use them within 2 brain booster rotations. So 5 blocks of time a year, they are using the KaiBots in their classroom. And this is the same for all of our grade levels. So I just kind of wanted to walk you through a couple of the lessons just to kind of show you how things are. So we have, I'm going to take you really in depth through a kindergarten lesson, but I wanted you to see how we were using them in a lot of our different classes. So I'm just going to take you through just a couple of different lesson plans. So this one in particular is for second grade. The standard that I'm working with science is the one that says construct an explanation about changes in Earth's surface that happen quickly or slowly, emphasizing the contrast between fast and slow changes. So I decided to do landforms and weathering with this. You'll see that there's also our Utah Computer Science Standard. I've always included a basic coding video that I've made that is usually between 5 and 7 minutes long, where I give teachers kind of an overview of the little different nuances that they'll be working with. If we're introducing new cards, I kind of explain those cards. I kind of talk about how teachers can differentiate with what's happening within the lessons to meet the needs of all the students in their class, how they can extend students, and definitely how they can integrate the ELA, the art, and the math with these lessons also. Kind of the same format. You'll notice that I've just kind of modified what Kai's Education already has. They're fantastic lessons they already have. I just needed them. I love the math piece with it, but I really needed to have them integrated with the science, because for most teachers, I think probably here in the United States, we have a lot of time for our ELA and a lot of time for our math. The science and social studies are ones that don't get as much time with the kids invested in them. And so I wanted something that could pull all of this together and really help strengthen those science. In the science classes, we use ELA and we use math because those are how we do science is through the different standards. And so I wanted to just have more of an emphasis on the science piece because it's often left out, and it's a big part of things that students need to know for later in life. So I just kind of wanted to show you, if I have image cards, I'll show you what those look like in a minute. They are always here and linked. You will have access to all of the lessons that I've created so far. I've shared a link with Ronel, and so she can share that out with you, and you're welcome to contact me at any time. And I love sharing. I love collaborating, just so you know. So we have our learning tensions and our success criteria that I always make sure that I have for our lessons. It's something that our students need to know what they're going to be learning about and why it's relevant in their lives. So I have just that basic coding video. I always have a link for them to make sure that they're using the latest firmware. I kind of walk them through the same sort of just kind of scenario of what the other Kai's education lessons look like, where I introduce cards to them. I do give them examples of what it could look like where they're set up. In most cases, I have given them at least one. Sometimes there's like 3 or 4 different courses that they could set up and what it could look like, especially if they're doing differentiation within the classroom with their students. So I just felt like this was a really important piece. We are rolling this out brand new to our teachers. We started in August of this year, and I have been into most of our elementary schools and done like whole school professional learning, and then I've even gone in and done grade level PLC, working with the individual lessons so that teachers could run through them and be a student and see what it would look like so they knew how to best implement this with their students in the classroom. So I take them through just different scenarios that I have found. Some of them are from Kai's Education. Others are ones that I have used in other aspects. And so we kind of take them through that. We have some things to remember here. You have access to these lessons, so I'm not going to go through this one very much in detail. I want to go more through the one for our kindergarten one, but I explain the cards to them. It takes them through the different coding pieces. In this particular one, they're introducing the weight card and the backwards card with students. And then they have their different weathering patterns. I have worked with the teachers to know how to lay those out so they can either lay them out in order, or they could be out of order and the kids could have to order them, and have the KaiBot go forward and backward throughout the course, just depending on what level of whether it needs to be an extension or whether it needs to be a simpler task to meet some of the needs of our students. So like I said, I've modeled these after lesson plans that, and just taken what Kai's Education already has and just kind of what we call canyonizing it to make it something that is relevant for what we need in our district. So I've gone along with what they've done with the ELA, the math, and the art integration pieces, because I feel like these are great extensions, but they're also ways that we can integrate these into maybe some small group work in one of these particular areas, or that they could do like in one of their center stations during the ELA, the math, or the art block, when the teacher's doing small group-based instruction and they need something for students to do, they can come back to this within their lesson. And I just think that those pieces are really important for our students. Okay, so based on that, I have done this for, like I said, the grade levels, and I will share what I've got with you so far. This is a first grade integrated lesson example. In this case, there are 3 different task cards that students get, and the teacher can differentiate by whether they give them one with the shark, the hawk, or the duck. In this case, it says help your KaiBot find 2 special features that this shark has to help it to survive in its habitat. And so obviously they're going to need to find these 2 things on their course. And there are a bunch of different ways that I have given teachers ideas of how to be able to extend students, or make it easier by the placement of these along the course, or they may have to be given strict instructions of go find the one that has to do with the mouth area first, and then go back and find the other. But the one beautiful thing about these lesson plans is not only is the teacher going around and asking questions about the computer science piece and why you coded this way, what happens, where's the bug that you found, go back and look at that line of code and see what's going on there. But teachers are also able to reinforce those science and assess their students on their learning with the science concept, because they can also go around and say, hey, why does that tooth so important? How does that help the shark survive in its habitat? Or why does the duck have that particular feature with the beak, and how does that help them survive in their habitat with living? And then they can ask them questions about what habitat does that animal species live in, and how does that help it survive? And so those are some of the things that our students are looking at, because it says construct an explanation by observing patterns of external features of living things that survive in different locations. And that's something that is really important for our students to know, but doing it integrated with the computer science aspect of that, and then bringing in even the fun of having the KaiBots in the classroom has just really brought the learning to a new level within our school and helps reinforce all of those different content areas and all of those different standards. So one of the things that I have done so far is I had planned to introduce the digital piece with Conundrum Lite first before I took them, even the older grades, to Conundrum. And I was planning on doing that in November, but as I was going into classrooms, I found out right away that I needed to slow down a little bit for our teachers and give them a chance to get a little bit skilled up with just computer science in general. I had a lot of nervous teachers out there, some that were gung-ho, ready to go. This is awesome. I'm gonna use this right away. But others that I had to work with, and so I had to slow down the process a little bit. But in the spring, we are definitely going to go the route of increasing by working with the Conundrum Lite in our grades, and then from there, I probably will take the upper of our elementary grades, the 4th and 5th graders, into working. Some of our students will be ready for the Conundrum and for what that looks like in the classroom. And so I will have to adjust their lessons to kind of show that. So this is just for this last one, just some different scenarios that I had. And again, those authentic connection pieces. So for kindergarten, I am so excited that we get to use these with our kindergartners, because a lot of times we give them these cute little robots that they're great. Don't get me wrong. I love all technology pieces and anything that does computer science, but sometimes we give them things where they're looking at like a color, or they're making a connection between that. So what does it do when it looks and finds the color of purple, or let's just push a button and it'll determine which way we're going to go depending on the arrows that we push. I am really excited about the KaiBots because we can teach block coding in 1st grade, and the students really can make a strong connection to it as early as kindergarten and 1st grade. And so by the time that they are working with Blockly with Conundrum Lite, or even when they're doing things like code.org or other aspects, they have a much better understanding of what those parts and pieces mean as they're bringing the Blockly over and coding that way. So for the kindergarten lesson, this is the first lesson I wrote, and the one that the kindergarten teachers and the students have both just raved about, is that they're looking at a science standard of obtain, evaluate, and communicate information on the effect of forecasted weather patterns on human behavior. So they have spent a unit learning about weather. They went and they kept a chart by going out and making observations and having to come in, and they used a key and had to look at and draw pictures and keep track of weather for 10 days, sometimes up to 2 weeks. Then they had to take what they learned with that, take a look at those weather patterns that they see, and determine, first of all, what kind of weather are they expecting? And second, which is kind of the next extension piece of that, is how can they be prepared for that weather? So you'll see that I have 3 of them over here. There's 3 different task cards for a reason. It's so that the teacher can give different task cards to different pairs of students. So first of all, they're not looking over at what the other team right next to them is doing and just copying down the coding pieces that they have in place, but they're having to really use their critical thinking skills to develop their own code. Second of all, I have taught the teachers and really been really explicit with looking at how we can differentiate within the classroom, because we're going to have all level of students that have different coding experiences in all of our grades. But we do have some kindergartners that have been doing coding with things with families long before they make it even into our school system. And so I wanted to make sure that teachers have the ability to differentiate within as early as their kindergarten class. So teachers can take like the different cards, and they could have like just the weather pattern for, let's say, the one where they're going to do the umbrella, just on a course, and depending on where they place that umbrella, it could make a difference by how much coding that the kids needed to do to get there. I have also told them that they could put all of them on the same course and have different courses set up in their room. And like if you have a students that need a simpler course and need maybe to do simpler coding sequences, like if they were doing the one with the umbrella, they could place it further or closer to the start of where the students start the course. And then they could place one further away, an object further away if they need it. But as the teachers are going around and facilitating the conversation with their students about why did you choose this card for this coding? How does this help you? What does the sequence look like? What does the KaiBot do during this time? They're also asking their students, hey, what does your weather pattern show you? And why did you choose that particular object? How does that help you if that weather were to occur in a couple of day period? How could you be prepared with that? So we're reinforcing those science concepts. The teachers are being able to do a different type of assessment to really understand and to reteach those science concepts during this time that they've just had within their unit, but also integrated with that computer science piece. So I just really, really have been impressed with the work that's been done by our classroom teachers with our cute little students, and the work that the students are doing. The students are really engaged in a way that just has really made this a lot more meaningful for them in the classroom to be learning these concepts in a fun, new way. It's new that they're doing this in the regular classrooms. So I just wanted to show you also what we're doing for that one class that I told you our kids go to 1 day a week. So we're also using the KaiBots in those classes, and this is just, I think I've shared 2 examples in here. So the first one, I have made the lesson task cards. I have differentiated for them. It's the blue is the easier cards, red is moderate, green is the challenge. The kids aren't going to know what those mean in the classroom. It'll be something that the teacher just gives to like a group of, we're only doing two students per KaiBot. I've gotten enough KaiBots that they can do that, but they are, they can differentiate on these levels also with students. So if they have some students who just are not quite getting it, they're going to get the blue card. And if they have students that need that extra extension piece, they're going to get the green card. At this point in time, the STEM Brain Booster teachers are introducing the color changing cards. And they're also introducing the emotion cards, which are really cute. And so the kids have different tasks that they will be doing within that. I really like this lesson just even for that piece. So I have given them also different coding pieces, but the way that they are working with these challenges is if you get down here to the problem solving and the miscommunications, we are focusing in this one on those new pieces that have come in. But if a student is just ready for still focusing on the giant coding cards, I've always made sure that our teachers, they do that on day 1, where they always introduce and work with the giant coding cards. Our younger kids in our schools, they have a rug that has squares on it that kind of look a little bit like our tiles. And so our teachers are using those with the giant coding cards to practice each time. So they're doing that every single time in every lesson, no matter what grade level it is. That would be the day 1 piece. The day 2 piece is then when they're actually getting to work with the KaiBot. So I just wanted to make that clear so you could kind of see how we were doing that within our classrooms. So that's just one of the ones that I've developed for the brain boosters to use. And then they're also doing one that's called Off to the Races. This is kind of built around one of the lessons that Kai's education already has. And in this case, they're going to be racing each other, and they have very different things that they could do. I have kind of walked the teachers through different scenarios. So they could have 2 students, 2 pairs of students working on the same course, but they could have different things that they're doing to get to the finish line, depending on what level they are with their coding experience at this point. So if you have questions about how we're integrating this, how I've kind of laid this out, if you are a school or even just a classroom that wants to know, or even a district that's interested in doing this district-wide, I would love to talk to you about it. You can tell I'm very enthusiastic about these KaiBots. We are using the Kai's Clan. We're starting to bring that in, and we chose the KaiBots for their capability of that vertical alignment between our kindergarten and our 12th grade level, where we could use them at different levels with the different platforms of Conundrum Lite and Conundrum. But we really were intrigued by the Kai's Clan, and we bought 2 classroom sets of those that we are just getting into trying those out in some of our middle schools and our high school classrooms right now. And if that's something that we feel is feasible, we're going to try to come up with the money to be able to purchase those for our CTE classrooms or our math and science for all of our schools. Right now, we just have them for a district checkout that individual teachers can check those out. So I would love to be able to talk to anyone who, if you do have additional questions and would like to get a hold of me, my email is here. And if it's something that is interest to you, I would say go for it, because these little robots, when Ronel and Bruce talk about them being this cute little guy or this really special little thing, they really are. And I truly believe that they are changing how our students are feeling about computer science in the classroom. But definitely that integration piece is super important for strengthening what our students know and the deeper understandings that they get. So feel free to contact me.
Hello. So hopefully you enjoyed that little video from Cynthia. She's done an absolutely incredible job. The level of detail and dedication that she's done for that is definitely not gone unnoticed. So we definitely appreciate it. As she said, this is all unplugged. So this is designed for your K to 3. But another great thing about KaiBot is you are able to scaffold it. So as she mentioned in her videos, you can actually go on to Conundrum Lite and conundrum.com, where they're able to go into that virtual world and look at Blockly and Python coding as well. So it's a sort of robot that can start from just learning those directions and things and that first little taste of coding all the way through to your Python and going through the devices and seeing the virtual world, which is pretty exciting too. So if we've got time at the end, we might show you a little bit of that too. But for now, we will show you our little setup that we've done here. So you can see we've got all the different setup that she's done. As you saw in the video, she's done these amazing little task cards. So best working in pairs with your students, and you can see the different little weather patterns that they're doing and how they can keep safe in those weather conditions. So you can see we've got our sunglasses, our little umbrella, and our gloves. You can see our KaiBot is definitely keeping safe in the rain here. So you can make it really fun. And like she said, the engagement levels that she's had with the students, it's amazing to see. So
should we try and drive our robot? So we are down here. I'm just going to move it slightly down. Excuse for the reflection, but we're going to drive our little umbrella, and we're going to find the other umbrella. So it's very, very rainy, and we need to code our robot to the next level. So where do we actually start?
So we've got all our different cards that you can see that we've got set up here. So we need to start with our, thank you, now. So we've got our start program and end program, and you can see there's little brackets in the middle. So that's just showing you that something obviously needs to go in the middle. So the best way of starting this with your littlies is you can actually get them to step it out as well, which is a great way for them to try and figure out their directions and things as well. So we'll put them down. So obviously something needs to go in the middle. So we need to think about the direction and the way that our little KaiBot is going. So we need to start by obviously going forward.
Now, Nikki, a question. Why is the arrow facing that way?
Well, the reason why we have it facing that way, because when you think about it, when we're reading a book and everything is going that way, we don't read a book upwards, we go that way. So that's why we've always done our cards going that way. So it's the direction in which you read, and it's the direction in which the little robot is going to move. So we're going to go forward, but are we going to go forward just once, or how many spots are we going to go forward?
Well, because we've got a little asterisk, a little green asterisk on some of our cards, that green asterisk means we can actually use some numbers. So I reckon I'm going to step this out. So I'm going to go 1, 2 forward. So 2, I'm going to put forward 2.
Good work. Now, are we going to go forward again, or what way shall we go next?
I think left. We need to turn left. So let's turn our little robot. Here we go. We're going to show you. We need to get all the way to umbrella.
So we're going to go forward again. And how many times are we going to step out this time?
1, 2, 3.
3.
3. We might do 2 lines.
Got to fit it all in.
Yep.
Oh, and we're getting close. We're very close to our umbrella now.
1, 2, 3.
Now we need to do one more turn. So we go.
Let's keep another left.
And
forward.
Woohoo! And at the end, obviously, we have our little run card for it to go. So shall we test it out and see if it works?
Right. So what we do, we just tap. So we hopefully have done this code correctly. So now we're going to try and see what we're doing. I'm just going to put this little, because we've got slots today. Remember, there's all these little sleeves and you can color in your own. So now all you do is you tap the card. It tells you which card you've just scanned. 2, left, forward, 3, left, forward, in my program, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Moment of truth.
Here we go. Go, Sloth. You can do this. Go and find the umbrella. Now you'll see he sort of looks around and he finds his way. And the reason for that is with the older kids, you can also start using the XY coordinates that's on these tiles. And that's why we talk about that whole scaffolding approach. Right, let's see if you're going to get, are you going to come to the umbrella? One more, you can do this, Sloth. Yay!
Woo!
And that is how we code it. And I think, you know, what Cynthia was saying is you can now move it different ways and add to the complexity or keep it as simple as you want to do that.
Definitely. And you can even get the kids creating their own little mazes and things as well, which is really great. So it is the sort of robot that can go multiple ways with them. You can start with the simple ways, but you can also go a little bit further as well.
Nikki, and I think you're 100% right. Obviously, this was quite simple because it is kindergarten. But when we get older, we've got the variable cards, we've got loops, we've got if statements. We can go.
This one, that's a really cool one to do, especially you could even do this with the kindergartens. You could do, once they get to the umbrella, are they going to feel happy? Are they going to feel lonely, surprised, sad? So they can do a little dance at the end of it as well, which is quite cool. So it's just teaching those kids those emotions and how they might feel with that weather and things too. So there's lots of options with it, which is great.
Absolutely. So the next step, I think, have we got any questions? So
yes.
Please add some questions in.
Yes.
What questions have we got there?
Any questions today? That's so
Scroll
cute.
down.
Can't wait to hear. I'm glad everyone's appreciating the wonderful work that Cynthia's done as well. It's great to see. We've actually had a few different teachers design a few different lessons and things. So it's really cool to see our teachers getting involved and being able to share with others, which is great.
Okay, so I think what we do, obviously, just like Cynthia was saying, this is a kindergarten to 3. The next step that we will do, and we're just going to show this very briefly, is actually you can now go and design. So the teacher can do that, or if you get the older kids, they can do that. But we've actually got a lot of these lessons, and we're going to add the link of the Conundrum Light lesson that you can do with this. So if we now bring in our iPad, you want to switch over to that number 2, I think. Yeah, that one.
There you go.
Okay, so let me just.
So we're just going to log in for you guys to see.
And hopefully That's going to come over.
Might take a minute.
Hopefully not a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, go back. Oh, there we go.
We got there in the end.
Oops. Let's see if I not fiddle with the cables.
There you go. So you can see here, this has gone onto our Conundrum Lite. You can see you can create their little avatars and put little filters and things on them. You can have them have little hats. So they can actually get a little bit creative and be quite fun with it as well, which again just adds to that engagement and excitement for them.
So I'm just going to go to the beginning to sort of show you. So this is Conundrum Lite. These are free apps that you can just download. The first thing would be is let's choose our little character. We don't collect any student data. So they will just choose a little character. I'll be a whale. I had a lovely dinner last night. I feel a bit like I ate too much. And I'm going to choose a hat. I will be whale engineer today. So remember, you've got these colors because you can paint, you've got Easter eggs, you can pick up blocks, all sorts of things that you can do in the virtual world. So the first thing we need to do is we need to pair our robot. So on the robot, there's a number, which is the same as this one. And it's told me I am busy getting paired. Then you've got a whole bunch. You've got tutorials, you've got coding guides, you've got different cards that you can roll out. But what we're going to do is we're going to load a project. And Bruce in the background has quickly done this one for us. And we're just going to download it. So the first thing is asking you what's your lowest tile number. So we know today we did tile number 31. So there's 60 tiles. So you just type in which one you start. Then it tells us now go and build the same thing. So we've already done that. You saw that when we were playing. Done. There's also a charging dock. So we can add that, which means that when your robot is flat, it can actually drive to the charging dock and autonomously charge it. So a bit like a mini Roomba. So we've done that. Right, here we go. Now we've got our little world, and the object is to sort of drive to, maybe what we'll do is we'll drive there to tile number 36, which is our sunnies. Like, okay, what does that look like? Here we go. Here's our little 3D world. You get it in different places. My robot is paired. From the top down, first position, and here we're going to go. So we're going to do that same code, and then you'll be able to see what we've just done. So I'm going to move. I'll just have to adjust my code at the top because we have to move forward 3. And I just need to take this one out. But I am actually going to paint a little bit. And I am going to add, just going to paint, and I'll add a bit of a happy dance right at the end of my code. So can you just switch over to the code?
Sure, there you go. So you can see it down here.
Okay, so I've done
code laying out.
So I've done the same. I've just added a little paintbrush and a little happy card at the end. So I'm going to now just tap my cards again, and then we'll switch over to the iPad and we'll switch between so you can see what you're doing. So I'm doing my start card again, forward, 2, paintbrush on, forward, turn left, forward, 3. I'm going to be surprised, get to my end. And now what you can see, if you just go to the iPad, actually what I've got here as well, third button.
There you go, sorry.
There
You
we
got
go.
there in the end.
We've also got this in Python, so you can see what it looks like in the text-based coding. So it's really important for that young age for students to start seeing what Python looks like. And then if you're an Apple user, we also have Swift Playgrounds for K-3. So if you want to know anything more about that, please reach out and we can help. Okay, let's see. Tap the run card. Let's tell us what to do. And there we go. And you'll see we're painting. So can you cross sort of switch between the iPad and the real mat. There we go. And he's at the bottom and he's going to turn. And as he makes his way up, you'll see there he's making his way up to the sunglasses because we've changed it.
And you'll see his little
surprise, I made it to the sunshine. So now we get a program end. And then we also have mazes and puzzles that you can do, and there's a leaderboard and all of that. So, okay, that's going to go back to presenters.
Wonderful. So that was really cool. It's a great way for you guys to be able to see how we can use it for our K-3s, but also how you can scaffold it from beyond there as well, which is really great. So hopefully you enjoyed today. Do we have any last minute questions? Just having a look here. Has anyone got any questions before we sign off for the day?
Scroll down at the bottom here. We've got all of those. So you will get a link with this webinar. Yes. You will get the lesson plans. You would see these handouts. So if you want to download anything. And I think the most amazing thing is, not just Cynthia. We've got our teachers that's out there that use KaiBot, and they are all looking for other classrooms to actually be able to start collaborating and working and sharing lessons. So if you are any of those teachers and you want to use a lesson, or you've got a lesson that you want to share with us, please do that. And then, was there a question from Sarah?
No, she just said that she loves the connection to Python coding, which is awesome. And it's, again, another thing that we love about it as well. It's nice to be able to have one robot that can carry through for them, which is great.
Yeah. So like we showed you, firstly, it's absolutely screen-free. Then when you get a bit, you can add the iPads and you can get all those projects. And then from there, you go to conundrum.com, which is the game-based platform. And this is where you can then go and code in Blockly. You can code in Python, and it gets quite advanced. I mean, there's actually sensors in the virtual world that you can use and pick up blocks and create escape rooms. And I think one of the schools, what I loved is their grade 6 students created a level, and then they shared that with grade 2. So cool. There was that peer-to-peer that they were actually playing in the classroom, and the classes were talking to each other, which was really, really good. But that's our 45 minutes.
Yes.
We really appreciate everybody that joined.
Thank you. No, yeah, we definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much for everyone joining today. We missed the last part of Cynthia's video, but she also put up her link for her email if anyone wants to contact her for support or anything as well. She's very kindly put that up there as well. So thank you again for Cynthia. And thank you for all of you guys joining today. I hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed showing you a little weather. I think it's meant to rain here in Auckland today, so hopefully this umbrella is big enough for me.
No, it's going to be sunshine, not rain. I'm a sunshine. Awesome. Thank you,
Thanks
everybody.
so much. Lovely to see you.
See you. Bye.
Take care.